I don't know if you've ever thought about making a vehicle deck, but they're pretty cool. In fact, there are some really great new commanders from the next set. A Vishkar is the only word coming to my brain. What is the word? Start your engines. Don't tell me. I'm going to look at the camera until I think of it. I'm not going to look at the camera. I'm going to cheat. It is aetherdrift. That's the one. First off, though, is not a card from aetherdrift. It's a card from Dominaria Unite, of all places. A store. Al Pastor. Bearer of Blades. He's really good at making street tacos. I don't know what to tell you. He's a human warrior. Whenever a stare, even though he looks like a core, like the white skin, like super pale, whatever. He's kind of gray looking. I don't know. When Alpa Store enters, look at the top 7 of your library, reveal an equipment or vehicle from among them, put it in your hand, rest on the bottom. Equipments you control have equip 1, which is just amazing already. The equipment commander if you want. Or vehicles you control have crew 1, so you just put it at the very minimum, pretty much, of what a crew thing can do. So basically, almost any creature with power, any creature with power 1 can just tap to crew your vehicles, which is awesome. So that just kind of sets the bar really low for your vehicles, and you just kind of, and he's a like somewhat card draw tutor type guy from the top 7, and you'll search up a vehicle, and then you can maybe flicker this guy and search for some more vehicles. I don't know. It's kind of a neat idea. I think red and white has some really good options. Don't look any further if you want a Boros commander there. Samut, the driving force. Samut just looks pretty sweet in this picture. First strike, vigilance, and haste with start your engines. We'll get to that at a later date in a later video. But yeah, basically, once you have max speed, she deals with your speed of your stuff. Other creatures you control get plus X plus O, where X is your speed, which is already pretty awesome. Speed goes up to 4, so it could be plus 4 plus O if you have max speed. And non-creature spells you cast cost X less, where X is your speed. Again, 4. So you could cast your vehicles, which a lot of them are colorless. Plus, also this is Naya, so you've got a lot of options for vehicles. Those will cost X less, where X is your speed. That's already a huge downgrade for the casting cost. So you're going to be able to cast some things, plus Samut's a 4/5, so she's already got 4 power, just in case, to crew those vehicles. And then the vehicles will just be big perpetually with her out. Pretty cool. I really think that's actually kind of a neat idea, because I don't know how many Naya commanders there are for vehicles, so I think this would be really fun. Next one, Kaikar wins Fury. Check out the Kaikar video I made a long time ago. That was a fun one to make. I have like an announcer voice, and it's like, I was going for like the Borderlands guy who's like, explosions. Right, I was kind of doing that voice. But Kaikar wins Fury. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you make a 1/1 spirit, and then you can sacrifice a spirit to add a red. What's cool about this is you cast a vehicle, and then you immediately get something to crew that vehicle, right? And as Al Pastor from earlier, he can actually go in this deck, and then all your vehicles have crew 1, and all those spirits can just immediately crew those vehicles. Kind of a cool pair. I think blue adds an aspect to that I don't know, it's really good for the vehicles, non-creature spells and all that stuff. So yeah, I think Kaikar's really fun. Again, check out that video. It's old, so forgive the everything about that. All right, next one is actually another new one. Is Winter Cursed Rider, Human Warlock. Winter returning like 1 set, 2 sets after, whatever. Pretty fun. Ward pay 2 life. Artifacts you control have ward pay 2 life. That's already cool. And then you can exhaust him. 2 black blue. Exile X artifacts from your graveyard, and then each other non-artifact creature gets a -X till end of turn. Dimir vehicles. That could actually be really interesting. Again, I think there's a lot of really great options for vehicles in all the colors, which is just fun. And I think Dimir would add a crazy aspect to vehicles that it hasn't had before. So plus, giving them all ward pay 2 life, is just neat. And blue is the main artifact color, so hey, throw it in there. I think this could be really fun. Dipala Pilot Exemplar. This is like the original vehicle commander. She's a dwarf. Other dwarves you control get +1/+1, and each vehicle you control gets +1/+1 as long as it's a creature. So she's just an anthem for your vehicles and creatures, or dwarves, I guess. When Dipala becomes tapped, you may pay X. So you can use her to crew something, and then you can pay X. If you do, reveal the top X of your library, and then put all dwarves and vehicles from among them into your hand and the rest in the bottom. So I think people might get caught up on like the dwarf thing, but you can just erase that, right? Because if you're just looking for the vehicles, although there are some really good dwarves for the vehicle stuff, but you top X, so you can pay any amount. If you're struggling, you just want to crew your vehicle and be like, I need to find something, pay a bunch of mana, and then you put all dwarves, it's all of them, all dwarves and all vehicles into your hand. It's another Boros one, right? So you're gonna have some really good options. Fun stuff. Again, I think having a tutor type creature in the command zone is really important sometimes. So that could get your gander. I don't know what I'm saying. Greasefang Okiba Boss. This is a rat. You dirty rat. At the beginning of combat on your turn, return target vehicle from your graveyard to the battlefield, and it gains haste. Then you turn it to your hand. Here's a white and black boss of Greece with a monkey wrench. I don't know. There's a lot happening in this picture. But anyway, it's a girl. Okay, it's hard to say which is more deadly, her bike or her bite. Probably the monkey wrench. I don't know. But yeah, again, I think white and black is a fun pair, and pairing that with vehicles could be really fun. And just returning it from the graveyard to the battlefield is great. It gains haste. Vehicles do suffer from summoning sickness chronically, and it's kind of a problem for them. So giving it haste and then returning it from the graveyard, because you could, maybe mill some with some black features, and then gain some life from white, and then return a thing from your battlefield. Anyway, someone will come up with something more clever than me on this, but it's fun. Colladin, not to be confused with Kaladin. Colladin, Triumph Caster, another new one. It's another human pilot. Mounts and vehicles you control have haste. Whenever a mount you control enters, becomes saddled. So this is another mechanic. It's pretty new. It's basically a creature that's a vehicle as well. You can ride it. Whenever a vehicle enters, it becomes an artifact creature till of turn. So 2 mana in the command zone. Plop it down, turn 2. Tap it to crew the vehicle you played turn 1, and then, right, or vice versa or whatever, and then it's got haste and all that stuff. Not haste, sorry. It turns into an artifact creature till end of turn. It's like shablam blam. What do you know? Anywho, I think that's a really neat commander. Also, he's got this cool like sword blade looking thing, which is kind of fun. Captain Rex Nebula. Captain Rex Nebula at your service. All right. It's like, kiss the hand. Yes. Cheerio. Anyway, this is fun. This is an unset. This is legal, though. It does not have an acorn at the bottom, which means you can have a pilot employee give your vehicles crash land. We'll get that in just a second. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose target non-permanent you control. A vehicle, let's say. Until end of turn, not a vehicle. It could be anything, non-permanent. Until end of turn, it becomes a vehicle, so it turns into a vehicle. With base power and toughness, each equal to its mana value, and then it gains crew 2, so that you can crew it. And when it's got crash land. So whenever it deals damage, just any damage, right? You roll a d6. If the result is equal to the vehicle's mana value, you sacrifice it, and then it deals that much damage to any target. So you want to just ram your things into people, and then they explode and do more damage. I think that is so funny. And he's like, oh yes, cheerio. Oh, it exploded. Well, I've got enough money to replace it. Yes, look at my haircut. So anyway. There's that. He's an employee. He might not have a lot of money, but he pretends like he does. Next is Lita, mechanical engineer. As an artificer, is mono white, so you can do mono white artifact vehicles. Pretty cool. Parhelion 2, vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, untap each other artifact creature you control. So this is, you swing with all your vehicles, then they untap, and all the creatures you use to crew those vehicles untap. And then you can pay 3 and white and tap Lita, and to create a 5/5 colorless vehicle artifact named Zeppelin with flying and crew 3. Which is almost every turn if you got enough mana, because your things untap, you make Zeppelins. And I think that's fun because I love Zeppelins. Go read Airborne. It's one of my favorite books. It's fantastic. It's got Zeppelins in it. Anywho, Caradora, Heart of Alakria. I think that might be a new plane. Anyway, new commander, has to do with mounts and vehicles again. This one's Selesnya. So you got green and white, which is another color combo that's not usually seen for vehicles. So I think this new set's adding a lot of really cool stuff. When Caradora enters, you may search for a vehicle or a mount. There's a tutor in the command zone. That's awesome. And then you put it in your hand and then shuffle. And then if one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature or a vehicle you control, that many +1 are put on instead. So you're going to be able to put +1/+1 counters on your creatures and your vehicles and all that stuff. And then it adds an additional. I think Selesnya could be really fun for vehicles, because at the end of the turn, it stops becoming, it's not a creature anymore, but the +1/+1 counters stay on it, I believe. And then for next time, you're just going, gone, right? You smack face with it. I don't know, kind of a fun. It do what Selesnya do, but that could be fun, and I think vehicles is a new aspect to that I think has remained. I don't know if it's been untapped yet, but now people can abuse it. And lastly, we've got Sanwell, Avenger Ace. Sanwell, as long as you attack with Sanwell and another artifact creature, you prevent all damage that will be dealt to Sanwell, which is pretty cool. And whenever Sanwell becomes tapped, exile the top 6 cards of your library, and you can cast a vehicle or artifact creature from among them, put the rest on the bottom. So it doesn't cast it for free, but you can look at the top 6 and then you can cast something. So it gives you another way to get some stuff out, and it's another mono white one. That could be interesting. I'm sure somebody would be able to do something with this, prevent all damage to it. I don't know if you could. I don't know. It's a wonky Voltron almost, but then you got a bunch of vehicles. I don't know. It seemed interesting to me. It's kind of neat. Anyway, somebody's gonna be able to break that. But anyway, that is what I've got. Click on that TCGplayer affiliate link below, and check out the Milkman proxy link as well. Such cool stuff over there at Milkman. Yeah, all those things help the channel out, and it's a good time. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you next week for your weekly dose of magic.